Okay, so that's going to be some of the bad from World War I. We've also got some good, okay? So we're going to talk about Henry Ford, and I'm going to explain this to you. Henry Ford did not invent the car. He invented the assembly line, okay? So the car used a gasoline engine, and the gasoline engine was very efficient. We still use it today. And cars, if you remember, were only owned by very rich people, very wealthy people. And Henry Ford figured out something called the assembly line. So if I were to put up a bunch of pictures of like a line of Toyotas or something, you'll notice that all of them look relatively similar, if not the same. And that's because it's easier to produce the parts for these cars in larger quantities. So if we keep... My tooth looks gross. Ugh. I'm sorry. So his idea is, let's just make one car, and let's just make a bunch of them. And he invents something called the assembly line. So basically there would be one person, and that person's in charge of bolting on the wheels. And then the car moves this way, and the next person is. So if we were making this, I have this trumpet. If somebody was making this in an assembly line, what would happen is maybe just the blue tube part would come to them, and they would be in charge of putting the buttons on. And then they'd slide it to the next person. Then they'd put the buttons on. And that's what they do all day, every day, is they put these buttons on. And it made a productivity spike. And that's what Henry Ford is really credited with. So here's those notes. So Henry Ford is mass producing the car using the assembly line.